friends, welcome back. My name is Kristen. If we haven't met, on this channel we talk about God and we get ready together. So today we are on the last day of our Chosen app Bible study. I feel like I haven't seen y'all in a while. I've been so busy we're closing on a house. I applied to jobs. I had an interview the other day, so it's been insane. But you know how it is. I missed you guys. I wanted to make time for y'all at least one day this week, hopefully two. We still have a few more days left. And we're going to finish this study, and next time we'll start a new one. So come on in, grab a snack or a treat, some coffee, and we'll get started. Today I'm going to actually show y'all a 5-minute face. Lately I've been so busy that all I've been able to do is 5-minute faces. So let me show you how I do mine. First I start with, I'm just going to use the Tower 28 thing. So I always start with a base. I have sunscreen on, and I usually don't mess with a primer if I don't have the time. And today I didn't have the time. So if I'm doing a 5-minute face, I don't mess with it. And today I'm going to be in the sun a lot. We're going to golf after my daughter's school. I used to golf in college. You didn't know that. And so I'm putting extra sunscreen on top of the sunscreen I already have. So let's get into today's study. So today he talked about a story with his friend who ended up getting a text from someone that he didn't know. And the person's name was Sarah, and she was ready to end her life. It's a very, very sad situation to talk about. So yeah, she was ready to end her life, and Ryan really spoke life into her and talked about how Jesus loved her. So yeah, she talked about how she was ending her life, and she already downed some pills. Sorry, warning, this is some, very dark and serious subject matter. Next I do concealer. I'm multitasking. I'm having a little lunch as well. Sorry if you see, that's what I'm tossing around in my mouth. Right, so Ryan, he got Sarah to tell him where she was so that he could take her to the hospital and get her seen and helped, which thank God she agreed to. And it was just a great situation for her in the sense of she could have texted anyone, or that she was just trying to text someone else, I'm assuming, and randomly texted this person named Ryan. That is God's work. Absolutely. God's hand was on her life. It's, when you look back, it's even in your own life, I'm sure you can think of examples of when God's hand was clearly on your life. I don't believe in coincidences. Everything is his plan, right? And like I said, if you look back in that lens, it's wow, I can really see where God was leading me in that situation or where it's brought me. So I wanted to say that so if you haven't downloaded the app, and read this story because it's really inspiring, because she ends up giving her life to Jesus and pursuing the plans that God had for her, which is a miracle compared to where she was at when his friend Ryan found her, right? I like how he said, God had redeemed her. He had taken a life deemed worthless by our world and even by herself and flipped it around. She was worth dying for. And we all are. And that's the beauty of our God. He loves us deeply, more than we could even imagine. And he will come after you, even in your darkest moments. He always is pursuing us. And that, I was thinking of, my kids were watching the movie Moana, and, during it, I do explain, this is a cultural movie. They believed in many gods and blah, blah, blah. And there was a moment, I don't know if y'all have seen the movie, there was a moment where actually it was a choice that, what's his name? The big guy. Maui, he made the choice to abandon Moana when she needed him most. And I was telling my daughter, I'm like, that's what's amazing about our God is he never abandons us. Like Maui, he came back and he helped Moana in the end, and it all was happy and wonderful. But that's the thing about the gods that are made up. They leave. They have human tendencies, right? But God never leaves you. He will always be with you. He never forsakes you, right? And that is why me personally and my family, we worship him and not some other God. Obviously, as I explain these things, it's going to seem longer than 5 minutes, but I promise you it doesn't take that long. He goes on to talk about how Jesus, his blood spill, that's how much we cost, right? He paid with his life for us, and how much that means that we are worth it, right? Like, he used an example of a friend who was in business school, said, the value of something is determined by what someone will pay for it. So what is your value when Jesus paid his life for you? It's high, right? We are his precious children. And I'm just powdering everywhere else to try to set it. But when I'm doing a 5-minute face, I don't use bronzer or anything, because I just don't have time. And I think he brought up a good point about how the world, like the currency, we use the currency of accomplishments, families, looks, wealth, race, education, leadership ability, influence numbers, or fill in the blank, to base our price of ourselves, right? Does that make sense? And he said humans are either desperately trying to prove their worth or living in depression because they feel they do not have worth. And it's true, it's a daily battle that we have to face, right? To constantly choose God and to remind ourselves our worth in Jesus Christ. That's not easy because like he's saying, our tendency is to not do that. My son's closing the door, sorry guys. He's like, I'm sick of hearing you talk, mama. I'm closing the door. I'm gonna use a little bronzer on the eyelid just to give a little bit of definition. So what are y'all's thoughts on that? Let me see what else he talked about. I like to just add a little bit of definition. Look like I maybe tried harder than I did, or maybe it looks like I didn't try at all, which would be the truth. I mean, I am trying, but it's 5-minute face for a reason. I'm busy. I'm late. Right, so comment y'all's thoughts below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that story, and if it inspired you or reminded you that you are valuable. No matter what, you are valuable no matter what the world says about you or what you say about yourself. Sorry about my hair. Hair's a little crazy today. It's just, I'm squeezing y'all in. I want to spend some time with you guys, and I'm a little bit of a mess. Hopefully you can understand. And I have everything on this iPad and it keeps closing and I'm like, rah! Right, so he finishes just talking about, how powerful it is to remind our soul of its worth in Christ. By reminding ourselves of the price he paid for us. He paid the ultimate price, right? Your life. Can you think of people that you would do that for? I mean, for me, it's a very select few. So for Jesus to do that for people that clearly he never met, there's no one on this planet that would do that for you. There isn't. Spray some setting spray. So the verse is Ephesians chapter 1, verse 7. In him we have redemption through his blood, the forgiveness of sins in accordance with the riches of God's grace. Great way to end. I hope you all enjoyed this study. Let me finish up the makeup look. I'm going to use this coral blush by Milani called Coral Cove. It's just their powder blush. It looks like a flower. Yeah, so that is the end of the study. Thank you all for doing this with me. The next study I'm so excited for because it's by Jackie Hill Perry, and I think she is just anointed with the gifts that God has given her. She has Instagram if you want to maybe listen to her a little bit, see what she's all about. Let me pull up the study. So the study is called Holier Than Thou from Jackie Hill Perry. It's a 5-day plan on God's holiness. I'm excited to do that with y'all. Just going heavy with the blush because it's spring and it's beautiful out. So go ahead and download the app and get started on that study. And next time we will go over day 1. Just a little bit of brow gel stuff and some mascara. Hopefully I can get the next video in Friday or maybe even Saturday because I'm not as busy Saturday. Sundays are usually pretty busy with church and then getting stuff done. If not, I'll see y'all next week. Thanks again for joining me. Let me get the lip gloss on. We're just gonna use the Milani Keep It Full. They have a liquid lipstick. I don't know if it's new, but there's some buzz around it. Might check that out. I do enjoy liquid lipstick because it stays and you don't have to worry about it. But yeah, that's the look today. We're gonna go to the golf course after I pick up my daughter from school. So it's pretty basic, but that's my 5-minute face. Hopefully you enjoyed. Join me either Friday or Saturday or next week. I will see you then. If not, I'll have a great weekend. Bye, y'all.